Hi, welcome to EDU 6540. My name is Brenda Fisher and I will be the instructor for this course. I wanted to take just a moment or two to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about our course. I'm an assistant professor here at the College of St. Scholastica. Prior to being here, I was at the University of Minnesota Duluth and at St. Mary's University of Minnesota. I began my teaching career as a classroom teacher in Willow River, Hinckley, and Forest Lake, Minnesota. I also have a bit of administration experience as I served as the Associate Director of a master's program at St. Mary's University of Minnesota. I got my bachelor's degree from Morehead State University, my master's of ed in teaching and learning from St. Mary's University, and my EDD in teaching and learning from the University of Minnesota. I received my K-12 reading licensure from Hamline University. I tell you this partially so that you see that I too have been an adult student for many, many years. I understand the pressures of being a full-time working adult while also trying to do your coursework and maintain the other responsibilities in your life. So I do get it, I do understand, I realize how time-consuming this process is, and I want you to know that I am here to support you in this process. Here's a course overview. These are the main things that we'll be talking about during our time together this semester. We'll begin by looking at what is assessment? What's the purpose of it? Why do we do it? What role does it play in our teaching and our learning? What does good assessment look like? When assessment is done well, what do we see happening? What do we do with information that we get from assessments, the assessments that we give in the classroom, the multitude of assessments that students take in terms of what's required for the district, for the state. How do I create good assessments? How do I grade students in a way that's fair and shows evidence of their achievement? How do I deal with homework and that role that plays in assessment and grading? And finally, at the end, you'll have an opportunity to kind of put things together and think about how assessment looks in your own classroom. The major assessments for this course are as follows. We will have discussions where we talk about a variety of topics in assessment. We will have video responses where you watch a little video clip and provide a response to that. You will create a grading statement that talks about your philosophy of grading. We will create some practice assessments together, and you will create an assessment plan. Our discussions will run 1 week in length, and I realize that's not very much time, but actually most of our lessons will actually just be 1 week. They'll start Monday morning and they will end Sunday at midnight. Lessons 4 and 5 are each 2 weeks, and you'll see that as you look through the syllabus. For the discussions, your initial response is due Friday at midnight, and follow-up posts are due no later than Sunday at midnight. Each of the discussion posts is worth 10 points, except for our first welcome post, which will be worth 5 points. You'll notice that I have a focus on critical thinking when we are responding to discussion posts. It's important that we're analyzing, synthesizing, evaluating, rather than just reviewing the work of others. There will be more information available about what critical thinking should look like in your discussions on Blackboard. One tool that we will be utilizing in this course is VoiceThread. And if you're not familiar with VoiceThread, it's a program that allows us to respond to one another, not just through text, but through the use of audio and video. And the way that we will use this is many weeks, not every week, but many weeks we'll have a little, usually a video that you watch, and then you need to respond to that through either audio or video. I find that students really enjoy this because when we don't see each other face to face, it sometimes feels like it's hard to get to know one another. And this does allow you to get to see others, to hear their voices, and sometimes it's just easier to explain things that way than to try and always type them out. You will receive an email from me with an invitation to join VoiceThread, so you can go ahead and accept that if you haven't already. Throughout the semester, we will also be creating a variety of different types of assessments. We'll be practicing writing good assessments. The types of assessments that we'll be focusing on are selected response. These are the true and false, matching, those kinds. Constructed response, where we ask students to actually come up with an answer. performance assessments, affective assessments, and portfolio assessment. With each of these types of assessment, you will create an assessment, hopefully one that you can actually use in your classroom. You will have a peer review that, take a look at it, provide suggestions, make any revisions that you'd like to make, and then you will submit it. Another assessment for this course is you creating an assessment plan. For this, you will select a short unit or series of lessons that you would teach in your own classroom. You'll identify the standards. You'll create some assessments that will assess student learning towards those standards. And then you'll provide some commentary about why you selected those assessments, how you created them, why they're good and valid assessments for that particular standard, and then you'll do a final reflection explaining what you learned throughout the process. One of the last assignments you'll do in this course is called the grading statement. You'll find that the idea of grading, the issue of grading, will come up time and time again as we look at assessment. Grading is almost always a hot topic, and so it takes us most of the semester to kind of filter through the arguments and figure out how we grade, why we grade that way, and if in fact there are any changes we would like to make in the way we grade. We will have some live synchronistic sessions. This used to be done through WIMBA. As you perhaps know, WIMBA is no longer something that we're using at St. Scholastica. We're moving into a program called Adobe Connect. So we will be using Adobe Connect to connect with one another. I have not yet set up those times, but we'll be getting feedback from you about what days and times work best for you to plan those sessions. One thing that's very important for you to know is I realize that things come up in life. Life doesn't just stop when you decide to take on your master's program. So when troubles arise, when things aren't going well, please let me know, and let me know sooner rather than later. You'll find that I'm very accommodating, I'm very understanding if you let me know what's going on. But if you simply just disappear from the radar for days, it's very difficult for us to make sure that you're able to keep up and finish the course. So please just let me know, and I'll help in any way that I can. Here's all my contact information. This, again, is available on Blackboard on the syllabus. Emailing me is by far the easiest way to contact me. I check my email very often. I also have provided my cell phone number for you. Please don't hesitate to use it. Since it is summer, I will be in the office less than usual, so this is the best way to reach me. You can usually expect a response within 48 hours, unless I kind of let you know otherwise that I'm unavailable. And I'm also happy to do any sort of virtual meeting with you. We could connect using FaceTime or Skype or Adobe Connect, or like I said, a good old-fashioned phone call always works as well. So I'm very excited to work with you this semester.